Good morning, everybody. Thank you for all the attendees that are joining us today in Udine, and welcome also to the others that are joining online. And I will immediately let the floor to Mr. Massimiliano Angelotti, who will introduce you to this important event. So please, Massimiliano, take the floor. It is yours.
Thank you, Irena. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this workshop in which we will be talking about an Adriatic-Ionian macro-regional project idea, which was born and set up in between 2019 and 2020 in the framework of a Facility Point Plus call. The project proposal name was at the time the Adriatic-Ionian Cycle Route for Sustainable Tourism, with the acronym Adrioncycleroute, a cross-pillar project initiative, which was set up, started from a proposal, an initiative at the same time of the Italian regions. I'm referring especially to Friuli-Venezia Giulia region and Marche region, which are also represented here by two speakers, the following two speakers, in cooperation with the representative of Croatia within the pillar number 4, devoted to tourism, within the micro-regional strategy framework, governance framework. That cross-pillar project idea was then adopted as a flagship project in the framework of the pillar number 2 of the macro-regional strategy, and with the name of Adriatic-Ionian Cycle Route. And this is actually the chance for sharing with all of you the state of play of the implementation of that project idea, taking into account what took place in the past 4 years, because we had a similar workshop at the end of 2020. It was December 2020, an online workshop during which we had the first chance of checking what is going on in each country which are part of the macro-regional area, of the Adriatic-Ionian area. And after 4 years, we are meeting again with, the goal of sharing the state of play of the implementation of such macro-regional project idea in terms of embedding in what has been done in terms of embedding that project idea in different programs, national, regional, cross-border or transnational level, and in terms also of infrastructure implementation, exploiting national or regional funds. I will be asking to all the speakers, since we will be having 13 speakers, to stick to a maximum of 14-15 minutes presentation in order to be able to close the event by 5 o'clock. And I will be immediately leave the floor to my former colleague, Franco Bono, who was part of the Friuli-Venezia Giulia region team, who worked on the topics of cycling mobility for many, many years, and who was one of the fathers, together with Marina Marcozzi, the following speaker, of the project idea we are talking about. So, Franco, the floor is yours, please.
Okay, thank you, Massimiliano, and welcome to all to this meeting on Adrian Cycle Tour project idea. And now I talk about a little story of how the project was born, and then Marina Marcozzi said much more details about the Italian situation of the route along the Adriatic coast. The project idea was born, was proposed, was an idea of the two regions, Marche and Friuli-Venezia Giulia. The goal of this idea was the creation of a cycling network that connects all the region of the EUSAIR area.
Sorry, Franco, for interrupting you, but we can't see the full screen on the. We are just.
You don't see which screen?
We can just see the room, the meeting room.
So I asked to the friend Massimiliano Tremol help.
We need to share the slides.
Right?
Yes, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay. And so the idea was the connection of the EUSAIR regions with the cycle network. And the meeting of 4 years ago, we said from Magna Grecia to Greece by bike. This is the motto of the project. Perché non va avanti? Dove si fa? Okay. The project idea is in line with the strategies of the Adriatic-Ionian region, and with 2 goals: creating synergies with among all the regions, and promoting coordination among the administration of the regions. Posso dirti che il problema perché non va avanti però, Bon. The Adrioncycleroute tour has 2 parts: a coastal route along the Italian and Balkanic side of the Adriatic and Ionic seas, and some inland routes that are much more important for non-coastal countries facing the sea, like Bosnia and Herzegovina, Serbia, and North Macedonia. Okay. How we can see here in this slide the goals that we can have with this project. Connecting the regions in favor of cyclists with a corridor dedicated to the sustainable mobility, and with improvement of intermodality. The improvement of intermodality is an important part of the cycling route projects, because cyclists want to have the possibility to cut off some parts of the track or return in short times to the side where they have start. The generating synergies I have in this case is much more important, because we have projects, planning plans already in progress. So these synergies are evident at the beginning of the project. And promoting coordination is much more important for this side of the Europe area, that has some countries in the like members of European Union, and some countries that are waiting for to go in. Okay, L'Adrioncycleroute tour has had in the first period two Oscar. He is a cross-pillar project between transport and tourism, the 2 pillars of the 4 pillars of this strategy, and is a flagship for embedding of pillar number 2. flagship project has to be included in the European programming of this period, and we'll see that this was a result of the projects of Friuli Venezia Giulia in particular, and some regions near of our region. Okay. The synergies between the two projects, the planning in progress, for the Western country, the Italy side, is the National Tourist Cycle Route System, or with a law of national law. We have defined 10 cycle routes, and a part of this go along near the sea, Adriatic-Ionic of Italy. For the eastern part, eastern countries, a project of SCF, the Mediterranean route, l'Eurovelo number 8, was developed in a recent program, Interreg Med, and so its configuration is defined. We can begin with the Mediterranean route. We can see that from Trieste to the border with Slovenia, the route Mediterranean run along the coast and arrive to Athens. And in the case of our Adrioncycleroute, we have to go through Patras and arrive or at the end of Peloponnese or at the island of Creta. Only the partners of Grecian partners can say which is the end of this part. As the national system of cycle route is formed from 10 cycle routes. The law is of 2015, and it is also in part financed. Five of these cycle routes are of interest for Adrioncycleroute, and the part in the northern part of Italy are the Trieste, Lignano, Venice, that from the east part of the slide go to Venice, and this is a project in development by our region, Friuli Venezia Giulia, and also Veneto region. The cycle route Vento, Venice-Turin, for a little part along the upper coast, the northern coast of the Adriatic, and for a great part from by the Adriatic-Cycleroute at the beginning of the Apulia region. Then there is a part of the Apulia Aqueduct cycle route and a part of Magna Grecia, Magna Greece cycle route. At the end was Pachino, but now the end is just a little far from Pachino in a port where the ships can arrive. Trieste, Lignano, Venezia, Venice cycle route has this track for the Friuli Venezia Giulia side, it is necessary to go not too much near at the coast, because this part is a part with great natural valence. And the part of Veneto region wanted to cross the much more internal side of the region, because the coast is full of activity, touristic activity. Okay, this is some photo of all part of the site. And the goal of this project is been the embedding in Friuli Venezia Giulia for a total amount of 11 million euro. The programs that was used are two Interreg, Italy-Slovenia, Italy-Croazia, and the regional program FESR. You can see the amount of every project. The great part of the money arrived from FESR 2021-2027. For the first project, it is a strategic project of Interreg program, Italia-Slovenia. And we can see that this strategic project its cost is for much more than 4 million euro. Focused the attention not only to the cycling route that we can see where there is the paint of the bicycle, but also the intermodality with boat. Siamo andati dopo oltre. With a boat and with a ship. And so we can see that this is the embedding of all the idea that we have had about not only a cycling route, but also all the service to use also other instruments to have a nice trip in this part of the EUSAIR region. Okay, thank you for the attention. Excuse me for some problems that I have had, and have a nice prosecution of the meeting.
Thank you, Franco. Now we move to Marina Marcozzi, representing the region, Marche region. Please, Marina, the floor is yours. Marina, you can start, and we can see very well your slides.
We cannot hear you, Marina.
Ok, si vedeva la diapositiva?
Yes.
Riprovo un attimo.
No.
Adesso no. Scusate.
Adesso no.
Condivido. Scusate, ma non capisco. Finestra. Condividi. Condividi. Adesso si vede? Si vede?
No, vediamo lo schermo. No, vediamo lo schermo Webex. We can see the Webex
Perché a me
screen.
mi dà scusate, ma non capisco. Io faccio condividi. Condividi.
Please try again, Marina.
Dimmi,
Prova di
finestra.
nuovo.
Aspetta, prova a vedere. Condividi. Adesso?
Vediamo un'altra,
Vedete?
vediamo l'email. No, vediamo un'altra finestra.
Ah, un'altra. Non
Se
capisco,
posso
ho
essere
capito.
d'aiuto qua Sergio dalla regia, deve interrompere la condivisione, deve cercare la presentazione, presumo abbia una PowerPoint,
Sì,
quindi
infatti vado
deve avere la PowerPoint, la presentazione è aperta,
e ce l'ho
poi
aperta.
o seleziona lo schermo, a quel punto trova la presentazione e la avvia, oppure va a
Condividi,
cercare
provo.
l'applicazione di PowerPoint.
Quindi vado su schermo, seleziono schermo e dove la cerco? Se no altrimenti su
Al limite
finestra?
sì,
No.
ma deve averla già aperta però, così quando vai in condivisione dello schermo trova la presentazione e la avvia.
Però io vedo solo lo schermo, ce l'ho aperta, ma non me la fa vedere, non capisco perché.
No, ma dall'applicazione Webex o dalla pagina web di Webex trova il tasto condividi, cerca lo
Sì,
schermo e poi dallo schermo lei condividerà il suo desktop.
sì, schermo intero, condividi, vediamo che succede.
Ecco, adesso ecco, e da qua lo avvii e vedrà che si vedranno tutte le slide. Perfetto, ci siamo.
Si vede? Ok. Good afternoon, everybody. I am Marina Marcozzi. I am an engineering on Marche region and work in infrastructure and road transport sector. I speak about Adriatic-Cycleroute. Adriatic-Cycleroute is a part of Italian section of the Ionian Adriatic-Cycleroute, included in the project Adrioncycleroute proposed by the EUSAIR Pillar 2 Transport and TSG4 Tourism, concerns the realization of the Adriatic-Ionian Cycle Route. The Italian section of the Adriatic-Ionian Cycle Route coincides with the 5 routes of the national system of tourist cycling, and the Adriatic route, with its 1,000 kilometers, is the longest cycle route. The Adriatic cycle route runs from Rosalino to Gargano for about 1,000 kilometers. The Adriatic cycle route allows cyclists to travel urban and suburban routes with an interaction and integration of service, and for this reason it can be considered the main urban cycle route in Italy. In the video show an example of this cycle route. This is the city of San Benedetto del Tronto. Scusate, si sente?
No, non si sente l'audio del computer.
Ah, ok, niente allora. Vado avanti. This is San Benedetto del Tronto. So, the Adriatic cycle route crosses 6 regions, 70 provinces, and 97 municipalities, areas with high concentration of resident population and tourists. The Adriatic cycle route is perfectly adapted to dual function of tourist cycle route and infrastructure for sustainable urban and interurban mobility, integrated with the system of local public transport by rail and car. The Adriatic cycle route is flanked by Adriatic Railway, which, excuse me, cerco, c'ho il video. Scusate, excuse me. Ok, a perfect intermodal bike train integration and is several by several airport. Venezia, Rimini, Ancona, Pescara, and Ballard Port with international connection, Venezia, Ravenna, Rimini, Ancona, Pescara, Termoli. And the financing of the Adriatic cycle route, the decree of the Minister for Infrastructure and Transport number 517 of 2018 design an implementation of a national system of tourist cycle route, has allocated a budget of about 16 million euros to the Adriatic National Cycle Route, of which 1 million euro for the drafting of the technical and economic feasibility project, and the remaining part for the implementation of the first functional tract of a cycle route on one for each region. The Marche region, leader of Adriatic Tourist Cycle Project, completed in August 2021 the technical and economic feasibility project on behalf of the region of Veneto, Emilia-Romagna, Abruzzo, Molise, and Puglia. The technical and economical feasibility project has identified a functional tract by region. These tracts are now under construction. And now the Ministry of Infrastructure and Transport is in process of issuing a decree that will assign to the Adriatic Tourist Cycle Route 74 million euros on the plan of recovery and resilience, and 27 million euros of state funds will be allocated to the Marche region. With this fund, the region will be able to complete a large part of their cycle route. And now I speak about the system of the Marche cycle route. The regional network of the cycle route consists of a coastal axis, north-south, Adriatic cycle route, which connects with cycle route east-west along the main river valley. And now I show the video of the regional network of the cycle route. Aspetta, provo. Now, the cycle route, the total length of the route of the Adriatic National Tourist Cycle Route in the Marche is 300 kilometers. Part completed, part under construction, part in planning. The cycle route will be completed in 2026. In the Marche region is working to complete the Adriatic-Cycle Route in the regional territory and the construction of a cycle route along the river valleys. From 20 to 22 on today, project have been approved and work has started in Marche region for a total of 18 kilometers of cycle route at a cost of 33 million euros. Along the Adriatic National Tourist Cycle Route, construction of bridge over River Cesano, Chieti e Tronto has begun. There are three fundamental interventions that give continuity to the Adriatic Cycle Route. The bridge over Tronto River will link the Marche region with the Abruzzo region. In October 2024, construction work began on 4 tracks of the cycle route in the municipality of Massignano, Campofilone, Altitona e Fermo. This is the cycling bridge over Chieti. Total cost is 4.5 million euro, and the construction work in progress and the completion by 2025. This is the cycling bridge over Cesano. The cost is 4.57 million euro, and the construction work in progress, the completion by 2025. And this is a bridge over River Tronto. And there are in construction 4 tracks of Adriatic Cycle Route in the municipality Massignano, Campofilone, Altidona, and Fermo. And in Region Marche is also in construction the cycle route along the valley, Esino, for example, Esino Cycle Route. Okay, and Foglia Cycle Route and Metauro Cycle Route, and the Tronto Cycle Route che connection from Tronto River Bridge to Sentina Natural Park. And thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Marina, for your presentation. Now we move quickly to the following session, during which you will be able to to see what is possible in terms of embedding a macro-regional project idea into territorial cooperation programs. I'm referring especially to 2 cross-border programs, Interreg Italy-Slovenia and Italy-Croatia. I leave the floor to Miro Kristan, Social Valley Development Center, who will be talking about Adrioncycleroute strategic project.
Thank you very much, Massimiliano. First of all, a quick check if you see my normal screen.
Yes, could you make it bigger, the presentation?
Is it the full screen now?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so good afternoon also from my side. I'll try to keep up with the timing that was dedicated to my slot. So I'll speak about the Adrian Cycle Tour. No need to mention that it's pretty much linked with the topic of today. I represent one of the partners, and thank you also to the lead partner, the region of Friuli Venezia Giulia, that kind of authorized me to speak on behalf of the whole partnership. I come from a regional development center. As in Slovenia, we only have the local and national administration. We, these kind of agencies, are somehow a link for the topics that link many municipalities, many territories, but also cross-border areas. And in this case, we are speaking about the cross-border project. It's a strategic project with quite some money when it comes to this kind of projects, Interreg projects. It includes some investments in cycling infrastructure, but also gives room to other very important activities that I will speak a little bit about later. Perhaps just to mention that the partnership consists of different kind of structures, such as regions, municipalities, mentioned development centers. We have a tourism board, we have a local action group. So this just justifies that cycling is a very broad thing, and it includes many stakeholders. It's quite complicated, but in the end, it brings some nice results, hopefully. This is maybe not a picture that you would expect from the presentation of a project, but it represents the bike sprockets. It's like a main ingredient of every bike, and it makes it running, it makes it move. So I'm showing this to say that cycling is an umbrella term, and each of us has a different understanding. There is a great diversity in cycling, and also in definition of the types of cycling that we are following in this or another project. So we can cycle on asphalt, we can cycle on concrete, gravel, we can go off-road, we can even go downhill, we can cycle as a family, or we can go on a long distance cycling. And this is the case in our project and different initiatives that are supporting the EUSAIR area. It can also mean that we are speaking about recreation or commuting. So a great variety that is hidden in the 3 pillars that we are addressing in the Adrian Cycle Tour project. The main activity, of course, is dedicated to the cycling itself. It's pretty much interlinked and interdependent between one another. We have the tourism and the public transport as supporting pillars here. Tourism is needed to package everything in products, in an offer, and also to promote the destinations. What is very important is that cycling is linked with services, with service providers that support with accommodation, with packages, with awareness rising also of inhabitants, because they need to tolerate cyclists if they are not totally on the cycling path. Sometimes this is also the case. And why public transport? Because we see public transport as a supporting mechanism to reach the destination first in a sustainable way. And then we also offer it as a kind of an alternative or to compensate some sections if it's too demanding for some users, or perhaps in case of bad weather, such as we have today, unfortunately. But this is the case where we have to take care of the others. So the territory that we cover is the cross-border territory. I would say we are pretty much interlinking the Alps with the Adriatic, and at the same time trying to combine and synergize what we already have in terms of long distance cycling with the rest. So we have the ciclovia Alpe-Adria-Radweg that connects the Alps to the Adriatic. Another one is Juliana bike on Slovenian side, and a small stretch, but a very important one on the coastal part, it's Parenzana, that was built on the former train line. So all of these make a system that is then pretty much appreciated with cyclists, hopefully. And what is also important is that we are not inventing something new, but we are building on things that we already have. We are just trying to make it more efficient and more a kind of attractive for the users. As mentioned, infrastructure is extremely expensive in some areas, also in our case. So we are building meters, not kilometers sometimes, with lots of money, but that's the reality. And this also needs flexibility because sometimes we have to allow cyclists to do some stretches on normal roads, but this also makes us a bit more flexible in terms of planning during the time. I'm just showing this to emphasize the need to have it as a structure, as a mechanism to link public transport with cycling in the cross-border or trans-border areas, to allow users to bike and take the bus, to bike and take the train, to bike and take the boat. This is the case in our project. We try to support it also with new pilot bus lines to promote different kind of mechanisms related to the train network. And of course, we know that public transport should not and is not a profit-based activity, so we will always need to invest some money in it. And this is just one of the examples how we did it. This is the bus that comes from Slovenia. On the picture, it is in Italian territory, and hopefully it is carrying some international cyclists that just want to bridge this gap. To conclude, there is always a question about embedding in terms of money. So what is the driver? I will only emphasize the demand-driven progress. So if we have cyclists, if we have the need to cycle, if we have the tourists that want to cycle, then we have a bigger pressure towards the policymakers, towards the official bodies that are responsible for funding. And in our case, as we have this year from Slovenia, the winners of Giro d'Italia, Tour de France, Vuelta, and also the World Championship, we are happy to report that the sense of cycling is quite strong, and hopefully this will spread also to the other countries of the EUSAIR area. And with this, I conclude. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Miro, also for the last slides, which proved how it is important also the promotion and the effect of some international world champions. Now we move to a presentation which will be made by Claudia Pucci-Lerotic, consultant for Istria region, which is one of the partners of EUSAIR's project. Claudia, can you hear us? Claudia, can you hear us? I must say that today Croatia is having a very important event at the national level about cycling, and both the speakers from representing Croatia are speaking from directly from the venue of the event. Claudia, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, indeed. Can you share the screen?
Yes, yes, in a minute.
Yeah, thank you very much. We are very grateful, of course, to Claudia for being able to connect, even though.
Sorry for being a little bit late. I'm at the moment on our Croatian national conference, but the cycling conference that I'm starting with the screen sharing. Just a second. Okay, can you see the presentation?
Yes, can you make it bigger?
Yes, in a second.
Perfect, that's perfect. Please, the floor is yours.
Okay, I will just, I'm sorry, a second. Okay, I'm starting. Okay, hello everyone. One more time. Greetings from Osijek, from National Conference for Cycling. Today I will present you Cyrus project that is being implemented from partners from Croatia and Italy, and which is also embedding the flagship of EUSAIR strategy. Okay, so our Cyrus project is being implemented within program Italy-Croatia 2021-2027, and it also is within the program's specific objective 3.1, developing and enhancing sustainable, climate resilient, intelligent and intermodal national, regional and local mobility. Our project Cyrus is, as I said, embedding the flagship Adrian-Cycle Tour, and the most important thing to say is that is related to two pillars: sustainable tourism and sustainable transport. So a few sentences about the project. Project aims to enhance sea mobility solutions and promote the green transition by developing a strategic cycling route along the Adriatic coast in both Italy and Croatia, actually on the territories of the partners. Also, the project will integrate inland networks and existing projects like Adrioncycleroute Tour, and we will seek to improve the sustainable mobility and tourism. Key outcomes also include cross-border strategies and joint training programs, such as ICT tools for stakeholders and users. I will tell about them later. So the overall objective of the project is contribution to define the cycling route running along the coast of the Adriatic Sea. Also, since I'm presenting the Istrian region, we will work on designing and mapping the route in our region. In some ways, it is the same as Eurovelo 8, but in some areas, it will be designed and mapped in other ways. What the project will produce is identification of connections to hinterland, promotion of sustainable mobility and tourism, and also multimodality and sea mobility solutions. Expected changes are related to better changes of the current situation, and also wider offer of regional and cross-border intermodal connections. As you maybe know, we had good practice examples like bike bus solutions from Trieste to Poreč and other intermodal solutions and connections. Also, ICT tools are important in the project implementation. Partners in the project are from Italy and Croatia. As you can see, regions from Italy and 3 regions from Croatia, including region of Istria, Primorje-Gorski Kotar, and Dubrovnik-Neretva. Lead partner of the project is Friuli-Venezia Giulia. So project started on March in 2024, and last week we had our second partners meeting, and we can say that we are in the process of the definition of the next steps. Now it's important to collect data and also to define collaboration between partners and their impact on cross-border development. Project has 3 work packages. Work package 1 is upgrading the cross-border cycling network and improvement of services to encourage multimodality. Like I said, good practice was practice from Mimosa project and Icarus, where people using the bus could arrive from Trieste to Poreč and see our cycling routes like Pensana or other cycling routes. Hopefully this will become a tradition, and maybe it will be more and more developed in future projects. Within work package 2, we are collecting data, and now we want to identify common data collection and methodologies in order to map not only cycling routes, but also points of interest like tourist and cultural attractions, and also connection to public transport in the area. It will be all presented in a web-based platform, and we are really looking forward. We are really looking forward to improve the user experience. Also, as you can hear, we are participating on events, different events, where we want to present our project and where we want to network with similar projects in order to improve results and maybe contribute to different objectives and goals. We will develop also e-learning course, and within this work package we will organize study tours and bike tours. Last but not least, the most important work package is work package number 3, where partners will organize round tables and evaluation and selection of strategic option on cross-border level. We will sign 2 memorandums of understanding, and to reach this goal, we will organize networking and set up a thematic community. Final conclusion is that the CYRUS project brings a lot of benefits, improvement in definition of cycling routes, especially the Adriatico-Ionian cycle routes that is going through Italy and Croatia. Also, this project will improve sustainable mobility solution. It will boost multimodality, it will boost networking, and it will improve IT solution to help all the users of cycling routes, cyclists, visitors, and locals in order to better understand and see what are the points of interest in the area. This is in short about the project. It had just started in this year, but we really believe that in the future period we will bring a lot of new conclusions, networks, and improvements regarding sustainable tourism and sustainable mobility.
Thank you very much, Claudia. Once again, very grateful for your availability, despite the overlapping of events. Now we will be closing this session with a short presentation, which will be made by Riccardo Maratini, consultant of Friuli Venezia Giulia region, who will be talking about one very relevant issue tackled by both mentioned projects. Please, Riccardo.
Good morning from my side. Good afternoon from my side. First of all, I'm sorry not to be there with you in Udine. Unfortunately, yesterday evening, suddenly the fever started to rise, and therefore I'm not 100% in good condition. Hope this not impact the effectiveness of the presentation and its clarity. In case, my apologies in advance. Hope you can see my screen now. Could you please confirm?
Yeah. Yes, please.
Okay, so I will be very briefly outlining some key, according to me, methodological points in the approach that we are making use of by means of a tool as GIS, Geographic Information System, in the development and support to the achievement of the Adriatic-Ionian route vision, Adrioncycleroute tool. Actually, I took this from the original image and I brought into a GIS in order to develop this map. This is just the surface, but it's already giving some hints and understanding you to clarify the relevance of the macro-regional dimension of the initiative that we are developing. And I'd like to stress, quoting from this sentence, which is not from a famous writer or poet, but just from a specialist in GIS, that maps are like campfires, he told, that everyone gathers around them because they allow people to understand complex issues at a glance. And the fire agreement, I would say this is highly needed in the case of such a widespread and extended vision that we are carrying out. Maybe I forgot to say that the maps are also shedding light as campfire, I would add. But this is not just about maps. We are talking about geographic information system. They have tabular data attached to the lines drawn on a map. And maybe the term data is not enough to clarify the importance of this. Therefore, I would like to just briefly say that this is far more complex and important, because a key issue of the multi-level governance, especially at the cross-border and macro-regional level, is achieving a shared vision. And this shared vision should be well-grounded on quantitative and objective elements. And to this end, the process of supporting joint decision process recalls the data information knowledge wisdom of vision pyramid, which is taken from the information theory. And this try to highlight how we can pass from granular data, gathering and collecting them, and making them organized in databases, and to provide shared information which is supporting the development of shared knowledge and deeper understanding and common vision. And this can be made also through representation that allow people to sit together and discuss. Maybe this is sound a little bit theoretical, but I would use this as also as a way to give a practical message. It is important to play a relevant effort in this purpose, because it pays off. It pays off not only in terms of app for users, but also for supporting the coordination process, which is highly needed, because how we are achieving this vision, for sure, by bringing together and coordinating different initiatives. We are talking already of 2 projects. Hopefully more projects will be developed in the future. And as you know from Claudia, we are also, for instance, trying to see and find the synergies with other initiatives, because this allows to brings into practice this vision. And therefore, we are looking beyond and throughout each single different project and initiative, and try to relate this to an overall picture. We are doing this with a kind of bottom-up approach. Unfortunately, there is not at the moment an umbrella project covering all the area. We have these 2 programs that are at, let's say, operational, which we are already working on at this moment, to cross-border program. You can see the Italy-Slovenia program and the Italy-Croatia program, how they cover part of the overall area. Of course, I would emphasize Italy-Croatia as covering a quite relevant and long portion of the overall route, and also taking into account with these light blue dots the distribution of the partners within the EUSAIR project. So this is very important to allow us to really have a good development. And you can see in black color the coastal route of the Adriocycleroute tour, but you know, the initiative is not only the coastal route. So we are adding step by step integrated data, but we want to do this on the good data and based on official sources. Therefore, for sure, this is just a work in progress. Also, the part of the coastal route will be updated once we have the official, or let's say, relevant data provided by the administration for updating each specific part of the route. I would like to underline just a few points. You can see here the representation in the overall network, and in dark black color the Adriatic-Ionian cycle route, and the colors are representing the intervention and the pilots carried out within the strategic Italia-Slovenia project that was introduced by Miro before. And the point of the map is to underline once more, as piece of pilot of intervention is referred to a network, and this is the point of having this specific, maybe little intervention being made through a strategic project addressing Adriatic-Ionian cycle route, just to provide the context appropriately. And moving to Cyrus, I would instead emphasize the comprehensive data collection and different tools that are being developed based on the data that we are collecting. As already anticipated by Claudia, we are doing a relevant effort through the support of all the partners, and also with the support of ITL and Regione Marche, which are developing 2 tools that are based on the shared cross-border data set that will be collected, gathering data from each region and county. These are WebGIS and the Net for Tourists. You can see the WebGIS is meant to be supporting this discussion between stakeholders. So it's important to underline not only the tool for the users, but also for the joint discussion and planning. For doing this, we need to collect different and heterogeneous data set belonging to various themes, which are pertinent and relevant to cycle tourism. Cycle routes for sure, other routes and trails, public transport, because we want to look at the multimodal dimension, other services to cyclists, and the point of interest and tourist destination. Quite a lot of data set to be checked. Different standards, it's interdisciplinary work, and luckily we can make use of relevant improvements that we have seen recently through the development of EU level or international level standard, with which many data sets on public transport are being made available. So we have good starting point, but a lot of work must be done. And of course, we need also to look beyond, and of course, many different initiatives need to be looked at, also for the purposes of the Interland Convention that were mentioned before, and one of them, but not only, the Eurovelo network routes that I just show you as an example here. I would stop now, and thank you for the attention.
Thank you very much, Riccardo, and one very warm wish to get well soon.
Thank you.
Okay, after having an idea of what is like embedding macro-regional project idea, we will be shifted to the last session, in which we will have the chance of see what is the state of play in each of the EUSAIR countries. One request to the speakers: we are just making a small change in the agenda in order to let one of the speakers to catch a flight. So we will be starting with Stefan Bulatovic, Project and Communication Manager of Biciclo, Montenegro. And after that, we will follow the original plan, the original agenda. Stefan, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Just a second.
Yes.
Let me give, because I need to share my screen. Good afternoon, everyone, and greetings from Brussels. So I'm not in Montenegro, but I'll be talking about Montenegro. Yeah, let me just share my screen. So can you see it now?
Yes, if you can make it bigger, it's fine.
Is this better?
Oh, we can see both the list of slides and the presentation, but it's
okay.
More. If you open the presentation directly and share the screen, maybe it's. Oh, yes, that's fine. If you can.
Yeah, this is better. Okay, great. So yeah, because I need to leave earlier, unfortunately, I'll be speaking first, although you start from Italy to Slovenia and then Croatia, Bosnia, Serbia, but now we start with Montenegro. So I'll try to be brief and to be within the time. So I represent an NGO called Biciclo.me. So it's an NGO founded in 2013 in Podgorica, and we are an organization that promotes sustainable urban mobility, and particularly cycling in Podgorica and in Montenegro. We are involved in building a cycling culture in Podgorica and in Montenegro, so trying to get more people on the bicycle, because unfortunately, as you will see, the bicycle is not the favorite means of transport in Montenegro, and that's what we are trying to do and have been trying to do over the past more than 10 years. We are focused on strategic advocacy for better sustainable mobility conditions, so that we have good plans and good strategic documents, so that we can actually have good infrastructure based on this. I'll just give you a brief context about Montenegro. So as you know, Montenegro is
Sorry, Stefan, for interrupting you, but we can't see the following slides. We just see the first one.
Because I'm clicking and then yeah. Is this better? No.
No, sorry, I am Sergio from Regia. We can see only the file open. Maybe it's better you share the screen, your desktop, and then open the PowerPoint.
I understand.
Okay.
I understand.
Interrupt the share.
Yeah, because now it's a bit blocked. Okay. Let me just share again. Share, and then you mean share
your screen,
the window, entire screen.
The window.
Okay.
Okay. Now select PowerPoint and then start. It's okay. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So as I said, so this is about our organization. So we mostly work in Podgorica. And yeah, I'll just give you a brief context about Montenegro. So Montenegro is a South Adriatic country, very small, with a population of just above 600,000 people, and quite compact, with 70% of mountainous area. So most of our actually country is mountainous, so which makes it a bit difficult for cycling. But again, we have really small and compact towns and cities, which make cycling actually very favorable as a means of transport in urban areas. So we have potential for both urban but also for rural cycling because of these mountains and really beautiful nature. So that's what we've been working over the past 10 years. So focusing on both urban and rural cycling. So in Montenegro, as I said, cycling is not the favorite means of transport. We have less than 2% of transport, modal share for cycling. So this was measured in Podgorica. But things are now changing slowly. So we have more people cycling in Podgorica and also in other cities. So we hope this will actually go year by year, more and more. And then we have cycling infrastructure mainly in Podgorica. So that's about 30 kilometers of cycling infrastructure in total. And unfortunately, we don't have a national cycling strategy. So still cycling is seen as a means of recreation, mainly, not as a means of transport, and as a means of solving our economic, health, and urban problems, but rather as a means of recreation. And that's why we don't have a national cycling strategy. And we hope to have one just as Italy, Slovenia, and Croatia, and now Serbia as well do. Cycling tourism is also recognized as a potential tourism branch, but still it is unexploited. So to the level to the potential it really possesses. Podgorica has a number of strategic documents that are really favorable to cycling and that provide a strategic framework for cycling. So we have the Sustainable Urban Mobility Plan, which was adopted in 2020, and it's now in its fourth year of implementation. But we also have small SUMPs for northern municipalities of Kolašin and Rože. And we have also other strategic documents that incorporate cycling as a means of course, sustainable development, such as National Sustainable Development Strategy, which is valid until 2030, and also Tourism Development Strategy, which also puts strong emphasis on cycling. We also have local cycling strategies, and that's something that I want to talk about a bit more in detail. That's something I'm really proud of, because those are the first cycling strategies in the country that have been developed by our organization. So we developed 3 cycling strategies, and all 3 have been adopted by the local parliaments. And we think that this is the first step towards promoting not just urban and rural cycling, but also transnational cycling, such as the Adrioncycleroute. Those are strategies for the northern resort towns, such as Kolašin, Rože, and Žabljak. And they are now valid documents, so adopted by the local parliaments, and we are now pushing for their implementation because they focus on both urban and rural cycling. So they have a strong, each of these strategies has a chapter on cycling tourism, so which is, of course, as I said, a great potential for those municipalities and for economic development. When it comes to urban cycling infrastructure, as I said, Podgorica is the city with only urban cycling infrastructure, but also we have, in addition to cycling lanes, we have 150 temporary parking facilities. So that's something that our city can serve as an example to other cities, because we have parking all around the city, so you can park your bike anywhere in front of almost every institution, every school, any public space, and so on. So we think that this is really important. Also, there is some infrastructure in Kotor and Tivat, so the coastal towns, but still, this is not, we cannot speak about network when it comes to these towns. When it comes to established transnational routes, of course, there is Eurovelo 8, the Mediterranean route, which goes from Croatia, so enters in from Croatia and then exits to Albania and goes along the coast, also through 2 national parks, the Lovće National Park and Lake Skadar National Park. And of course, this route is promoted by various celebrities, such as, for example, Novak Djokovic, the world #1 tennis player, who actually cycled along this route this summer, and he actually promoted Eurovelo in a way. But still, there is no route marking, and that's the main problem. So we have almost 0% of marking, so nobody actually knows that this is actually the Eurovelo route, and that's something that we need to work on. There is also another transnational route, which is called Transdinarica, and I guess my colleagues will be speaking about it also from other countries. Through Montenegro, it has a length of 369 kilometers. It covers mostly the northern parts of Montenegro, from Stepan Polje to Gusinje, and as you see, it's in the north, so entirely mountainous, so with an elevation of up to 1,310 meters. So it's really difficult actually for many cyclists, but still very exciting, because you pass through incredible nature, and I think it's really worth. This route has been paved up to 94%, which is really good. So there is only a bit of non-asphalt route, so that's something that's really positive. As you see, you pass through really nice areas, and we mostly use the existing roads. There is also another transnational route, which is called Ciro. Ciro is actually an old narrow gauge railway, which has been transformed into a bike route. So it goes from Montenegro, Croatia to Croatia and Bosnia. So it's a rather circular route, and it's really nice to cycle, but still there is a lot of work to do. So the work on this route has already started, but still there is some time to pass for infrastructure, marking, and so on. When it comes to Adrioncycleroute, and now I come to the point. So, of course, this route is not embedded in official strategic documents, and I think this is the main point. So we need this to be embedded into national strategies and other relevant documents. And of course, involving stakeholders is crucial. So we need to get all stakeholders on cycling and also cycling tourism on board, so that we can actually jointly plan this route through Montenegro. There is also the great potential of local low traffic roads, and that's, I think, something that's really not exploited to the most to the highest level, because we have lots of local roads through villages which are not used by, or are rarely used by, cars, and these roads can really serve as cycling routes. And that's something I think that we should work on in Montenegro, but also I guess in other countries you have many roads, because we have the trend of urbanization, so people moving from villages to cities, and then we have lots of those remaining roads which are not used and can be really nice cycling routes. And this is something that I worked together with my colleagues, a potential cycling route which goes from Bosnia to Albania, which from the city of Trebinje, and then to Cetinje, the Lovće National Park, then to the Zeta nature park and also Lake Skadar National Park. So a bit of a couple of nice points of interest that goes through to Albania and also passes through Podgorica and uses the existing cycling infrastructure. Of course, this is just a proposal, but that's something that we should work on in the future. And now I come to the conclusion. So the way forward is actually what we think is that we should increase the awareness of EUSAIR among both stakeholders and the general public. So because people normally don't know what EUSAIR is, and that's I think the first point. Then we should also ensure support for small-scale projects that promote EUSAIR flagships. So not just within the Adrian program, but also, I mean, some of the other projects that really embed these flagships into their activities. Also, we should strengthen the ownership of EUSAIR among authorities. So our authorities really needs to get a sense of ownership of this Adriatic-Ionian strategy, and also we'll work with various stakeholders, map them, establish cooperation, and establish a task force which should actually work on developing this Adrian cycle route. And of course, embed the Adrian cycle route in relevant documents such as the National Transport Development Strategy, National Tourism Development Strategy, local sustainable urban mobility plans, and also cycling strategies. And that's it. Thank you so much for your attention. I hope you were able to follow the presentation.
Thank you so much, Stefan, for your presentation, your availability, even if you are in Brussels currently. Oh, thank you. From Montenegro, we jump to Slovenia, and I will be leaving the floor to Tadej Zilic, Municipality of Koper. The floor is yours, Tadej, please.
Hello to everyone. Thank you. My name is Tadej Zilic. I'm from the Municipality of Koper, but I worked for almost 20 years at the Regional Development Agency of Koper, and mostly of my cycling experience are based on the work on the Regional Development Center. Now the municipality, I'm working in the transportation sector, but I'm not really connected with cycling, so I prepare a joint presentation with Larissa, who unfortunately was on a business trip, so I will present some kind of combined presentation. So I will try to share the presentation. Just a moment. Just a quick check. Can you see the presentation?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Perfect. Please. Okay. And the slide worked. Is it the second page? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I will start obviously our. I lost myself. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, and
okay.
We can see also the presentation. It's the first
I will start with the Paranzana, who is our main product in cycling in our region. It is mostly the product of three Interact Slovenia-Croatia project from 2006 to 2014, and now it's also Eurovelo 8 route. So we worked on some project to mostly to promotion and to make more recognized this route. This route is mostly 34 kilometers, so it's only one daily section, but it's practically completely cyclable without any problem because it's asphalted and nice to. There is very nice town to visit. What about the municipality of Koper? Now I prepared just few lines what we are doing now on the municipality level. We are now we are in the phase of preparation of the new sustainable urban mobility plan that will be that will be confirmed in March 2025. I mentioned this sample because a very important pillar will be the cycling. So not only tourism, but also daily commuting. Just a short review about how much money spend the municipality on cycling issues. This is not a complete list because there are also some combined costs, but mostly we made a new cycling path in near our city, and we spent 140 euros, but it was just a co-financing part. We spent it 500,000 because it was another project. We spent some on maintenance. We work a lot on documentation, and we also spent some on education. So we help our school when the students try to get their driving license for cycling in the fifth elementary school. And we also we also have some sponsor, let's call it sponsor money for some sport events, like yearly. In our region there is a yearly Istrian marathon, not only for runners but also for cyclists, and we cooperate with the organization. In the 2023, we confirm a concept of cycling path in the municipality. We made a list and the evidentation of all the paths. We also made an intermodal scheme because our goal is that the municipality of Koper will be in the near future an intelligent city, let's call it intelligent, and we would like to build an informatic traffic center that can manage all of these shift between bikes, buses, maybe also boats or other transports. But we are not working only on the urban part. We also have a list of all thematic cycling paths in the hinterland. These paths are not just they are common roads, not mainly for cyclists, but we think it's important that we have this evidence, so we can then develop also these paths on infrastructure level. And now I will start with the part that Regional Development Center do. So it's more regional now. The Regional Development Center, through the project Adria-Cycle Tour, relaunched two services, and one each a maritime transport for passenger and bikes, and this ship docked at 4 locations in each municipality. And there was a symbolic price for a ticket. And the good news is that there was 10% more users than the last year, so 12,000 passengers. The bad news is that probably in the next year the service won't operate because it's expensive. And also the beachy bus service, the bus line with a trailer for bicycles, that also run in summer from July to September, just on weekends, Saturday, Sunday, and in that 2 months, 73 passengers were transported on the karst region. And now they also work on the Interbike 3 project, and the regional development start a study on public bus transport in the region, which will help the municipalities us and our other municipality and the competent minister to improve the number and frequency of bus routes. And the activity aims to bring bus passenger transport closer to users, and that means also to cyclists. And there is also some activity with the municipality of Ilirska Bistrica, and they has launched a series of workshops to bring together the main stakeholders to promote the D7 cycling route, and they want to establish a cycle products on this route, and it's everything still to be discussed. And in few words, this is everything from my side. I will stop sharing, and so I hope it was interesting, and I hope the thematic was what you expected from me. Thank you.
Thank you today. Now we keep moving southbound, and I leave the floor to Mrs. Lydia Mischin, Ministry of Tourism of Republic of Croatia. Lydia, can you hear us? She had a problem with the microphone before. Lydia, can you hear us? Fear there is still a problem with the microphone. I asked my colleagues to check if they can get in touch with Lydia, but for not wasting too much time, I will move to Boris Kavernik, Danube Competence Center, Serbia. Boris, can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, let me try on work. It's connecting, but it's slow, of course, like usual.
Can you manage to share the screen like before? Yes, almost.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi.
Massimiliano?
Yeah, Tony.
I think
Boris
on
is having also
agenda.
problem. Yeah. Yes, Tony.
On agenda.
It's your turn. Yes, Bosnia-Herzegovina Cycling Federation. Please, Tony. Tony Zoric.
Okay, can I start now?
Yes, please.
Okay, I will try to share my screen. Can you see?
Oh, not yet.
No?
No. Did you manage to open your presentation on your screen? We have seen your screen, but not the presentation yet.
Can you see now presentation? I open it.
Let's wait.
Just a second. Try again.
Try again.
Now?
Yes, please.
Perfect. Okay, hello everyone. My name is Toni Zoric. I live in Mostar, Bosnia and Herzegovina, specifically in southern part of Bosnia and Herzegovina, in the region of Herzegovina. And our aim is to promote our region, our country as the new cyclotourism destination. First of all, I would like to thank you for inviting me for this online workshop and this opportunity to present our work and the tourism protection of my country. I would also like to thank the REDAH agency, which recommended me to speak here about the cyclotourism in Bosnia and Herzegovina. A little about me. I currently hold the position of the president of Cycling Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina, and here I am in front of the organization Herzegovina Bike Association, which has done really lots of work, tremendous job in promoting cycling and tourism in Herzegovina. Herzegovina Bike Association is a non-governmental organization that gathers together 19 cycling clubs in the region of Herzegovina. They are united around the common goal, promoting cycling as a sport and the tourism, and promoting our country as desirable cyclotourist destination, tourist destination. Together, we are carrying out numerous projects, and this year we have implemented over 25 projects, promotional cycling events, promotional tours with hundreds of participants, some educational workshops with the kids to the professional cycling races, bike festivals that have attracted participants from all over the world. Now, I will tell you a little about the beginning of the cycling in my country, in Herzegovina. And this photo that you see on the screen, it marked the beginnings of my cycling journey, crossroads in my life when I entered the cycling as a sport, where I have remained till this day. This was my first accent to local here in Mostar, and I was so fascinated because I didn't have idea at that time that it's even possible to ride the bike at uphill. So this was in year 2004, and it's important to say that at that time there were only 3 or 4 cyclists here in Mostar. No one was riding bikes. Nobody was interested in cycling at all. Today, Mostar has thousands of active cyclists. The region of Herzegovina, as I said, has 19 registered cycling clubs, and we have accomplished truly significant projects that I will present in the next few minutes. Now we have more than 2,000 kilometers of cycling trails, and what particularly delights me is the connection and the support from the local community and the small producers to the bike-friendly standards, which will I mention later. Chiro Trail project. I will now switch the screens. I hope you can see it. Can you see it? Can you confirm?
Yes, we can see it.
Perfect. Well, I like to say that the Chiro Trail project has marked the beginning of the serious cycling in my country. The project, which began in 2014 with the implementation in 2014, and it was completed in 2016. It remains as a source of pride for all of us involved in his realization. The project was intentionally had 8 municipality partners. Now it gathers more than 20 partners actively involved in promotion, maintenance of the Chiro Trail route. I will put some video. You can show promotional video if it's okay. Few minutes from the Chiro Trail. So as you can see here, We have implemented with REDAC several Ciro Trail projects. The first one was in 2014. It was worth 350,000 euros, followed by the Ciro 2 project worth 1,900,000 euros. And after that, it came Ciro Heritage project that connected the Ciro Trail with UNESCO heritage sites. It's important to note that we have partnered with numerous tourist agencies, and today we have a large number of tourists on this trail, either organized through the agencies or individually as a long distance cyclists. So this trail goes from Mostar to Dubrovnik. It's long 140 kilometers. 40 kilometers more to Trebinje, and through Ciro 2 project we implemented more 40 kilometers to Montenegro. Okay. It's important to mention that Ciro Trail project taught us a lot. For example, when we implemented the first Ciro project, we realized that we didn't have cyclotourist guides, the people who would lead tourists and promote our country. At that point, we collaborated with the Cycling Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina, where we licensed the first 12 cyclotourist guides. And now they are holders of the license for the National Federation, and they work as tour guides. Following that, we organized 2 or 3 more workshops, and today Bosnia and Herzegovina has more than 60 licensed cyclotour guides. The next issue was that hospitality venues like restaurants, travel agencies were not familiar with the needs of these guests because, as I mentioned 2 decades ago, cycling was completely unknown in my country. At that time, REDAC launched the bike-friendly standard project with Herzegovina Bike as the technical partner. And through this project, we held several workshops to teach and inform all these hospitality venues, accommodations providers, restaurants, travel agencies about the needs of cyclotourists and what they needed to ensure in their facilities to meet at least the minimum requirements for cyclotourists. Today, Bosnia and Herzegovina has over 75 facilities that hold bike-friendly standard license, and REDAC also implemented these projects in the neighborhood countries with 3 facilities in Croatia, 19 facilities in Montenegro, 15 in Serbia, and 24 in the North Macedonia. After that, it came Cycling Rural project in 2019. We partnered with the Office of the Government of the West Herzegovina County, where we implemented Cycling Rural project. As the name of the project suggests, our goal was to build a network of the cycling trails that would guide tourists through the rural areas of Herzegovina, allowing them to truly experience the spirit of Herzegovina and the traditional way of life in my country. Today, we have, through this project, we have over 1,400 kilometers of cycling trails in West Herzegovina country that would take you through some most beautiful destinations in this part of the country, and the feedback from the field indicates that the local people are noticing increasing number of the cyclotourists and the cycling rides in this on these trails. And our current pride and next project that is waiting for more serious support from EU projects is Franciscana Cultural Route. We can switch screen. So this is on our Herzegovina bike web page. This route is conceptually designed as a trail that connects Franciscan monasteries and museums in Herzegovina with the length of the 400 kilometers. And now it has been expanded to include Franciscana in Bosnia, Franciscana Dalmatia, and Franciscana Montenegro. And it's important to note that each of these monasteries has its own museum containing the truly valuable artifacts, historical items, like the books, paintings. And the Franciscans have been guardians of our heritage, protecting these items and treasure them in these museums through several organized cycling events. We succeeded to connect, mapped, photographed, collect all the informations from the monasteries in Herzegovina, as well as some of the monasteries in Bosnia. And we have already created some tourist packages, partnered with tourist agencies. And the next year, we will host the first group of tourists from Belgium on this route. We are also working to apply some projects to implement, some EU projects to implement more substantial work and infrastructural work in this project. So, okay, the next is our Blidnja Bike Festival. As I mentioned, we organizers of some really big and serious cycling events, and one of them is our Pride Blidnja Bike Festival. This year, it's being held for the 6th consecutive years in the Blidnja Nature Park, and it's aimed to promote this nature park to this natural phenomenon presented to tourists from all over the world. Again, I will play our video. Okay, it's a 3-day event that includes workshops with children, with presentations for our sponsors, recreational events that gathers children, adults, actually the whole families who enjoy nature, who enjoy cycling and tasting the local food. In evenings, we organize a party program, and Sunday is reserved, as you can see, for the professional athletes that are gathered for the marathon race, which in this year carried the UCI Class 1 classification. And we also held the Balkan Championship. So in 2024, we hosted athletes and guests from more than 50 countries on Blidnja Nature Park. Training camps through the Cycling Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina. We have been organizing training camps for national teams, for the kids, from young athletes, and for 10 days our sports workers work with the children and train and cycle in Herzegovina. This event takes place in this year. Event takes place in the Blidnja at the beginning of the year, and it's organized with the collaboration with the UCI, International Cycling Union. And this year, the UCI Congress was held in Switzerland, and our training camp at the Blidnja was presented to 150 countries that participate in the Congress. And it was presented as a well-organized project with potential for further development. It's concluded that UCI will continue to invest in these training camps and to development of the professional cycling in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Now I will come to our Herzegovina bike web page. I would like to guide you to our web page. As you can see on the home page, in 2 days we have the last Ciro cycling event in 2024. Every year we organize 6 promotional cycling events of Ciro. Here you will find on this tab you will find all information about the Herzegovina bike project, including our goals, vision, and missions. On this tab here, you can explore complete cycling trails in Herzegovina, which we have divided in thematic trails, trails by counties, and bike parks. So let's enter in one of these. Perhaps this one. UNESCO, the last one, trails. It goes from Mostar to Dubrovnik and covers 180 kilometers and takes you to 4 UNESCO World Heritage sites. As you can see, we strive to provide really beautiful photos designed to attract our guests, detailed informations like with the distance, elevation profiles, options to download GPX data for your Garmin device or other navigational equipment. We include all the details about this trail, as well as where you can rent a bike, where you can. We suggest some agency that can organize this tour. As well, we include destinations that you can visit on this trail, gastro offer, where you can taste the local foods, accommodations, where you can go, you can find accommodation, and then really nice photos on every trail. Here on the right up, you can find all the magazines that have written about us, like The Guardian, New York Times, Lonely Planet, National Geographic. It's all clickable. When you click, you go to the article, and you can read about it. Sorry. Here you will find on this tab you will find some destinations that we recommended to visit in Herzegovina. On this tab over here, you can find all the events that we organize on year. As you can see, we have only 2 events to the end of this year, but it was 25 events on the beginning of the year. On this tab over here, you will find bike-friendly establishments in Herzegovina, including accommodations, restaurants that understands the needs of cyclists and possess the bike-friendly standard license awarded by REDAH. Here you can find our VIP members that support us. And this is the section of news from Herzegovina. Here you can find all the cycling clubs in Herzegovina and contact with them. And on this tab over here, you can find usable informations from our country to navigate better. So now I will conclude my presentations and some shortcomings that we still need to work on. Number one is the insufficient promotion. I believe that we are still unknown destination and that we need to work much harder on promoting everything that we have and everything that we have done in our country. I doubt that anyone or few of you behind the small screens have had insights into what we are doing and what we have done in terms of achieving the cycling in Herzegovina. We need to present ourselves as many outdoors fairs and outdoors events and telling the people our stories, what we have to offer. Currently, we only represent ourselves through the internet and organizing these events. Number 2 is poor infrastructure. The infrastructure doesn't keep up with the current offer, and we must put a great effort to activate the authorities to invest in infrastructure so we can become a destination with European values. And together with Redak and other stakeholders, we will continue toward our goals, visions, and mission. And we remain open to future collaborations and initiatives that will contribute to the faster development of cyclotourism in our country. So if you have any questions, I'm at your disposal. Of course, you can contact us on our email, phone, web page. So that will be all. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Tony, for your very interesting presentation. Now we try again to get in touch with Lydia Mischin. Can you hear us?
Yes, yes. Hello.
Ah, perfectly. Okay.
I'm sorry, something is wrong
Welcome.
with my microphone. It mutes me automatically, and I'm fighting with it since 1:45. So greetings to everybody. My name is Lydia Mischin. I'm not from the Ministry of Tourism. Unfortunately, I just jumped in today because they're all involved in the National Cycling Tourism Conference in Osijek. And I'm not. I'm in Zagreb, where I live, and I'm involved in tourism sector for over 30 years now. And I work with the I worked actually with the Croatian National Tourist Board since the beginning of 2017 until the end of 2020, when we were developing a Med Cycle Tour with you, also Mr. Massimiliano and Franco Bono and some other colleagues from Italy. That's how we know each other. And I know, of course, some people from this meeting because they were cooperating with us, but as well, I was for 7 years president of the National Coordination for Cycling Development within the Ministry of Tourism and Sports now. So I will tell you a little bit about the potential of Croatia within this tourism, actually within this product of Adriatic-Ionian initiatives and route. Claudia asked me to focus on Istria and to focus on Eurovelo 8 and 9, which is a basis for the development of and connection with other cycling routes of Croatia. So let me share my presentation. Share. Second. Can you see it? Not yet. Hello?
Not yet.
Not yet.
It's uploading.
Sorry. Share screen. Now?
Yes, but can you open into the presentation mode?
Can you see it now? It's really strange. What's happening?
Not yet. We can see both the slides and it's small.
I asked Irene, actually, she has my presentation. She can maybe just put it on if not to waste any longer time. I sent it to you today morning.
Yes. I've got it also on my screen. Otherwise, I can share it with you.
Yeah, if you can share it, it's not a problem. Yeah.
Okay, just stop sharing yours screen, so we'll try to share mine.
Now I'm blocked again.
Can you see the screen now?
Yes.
Okay, please.
Thank you very much.
You're
so
welcome.
The first slide actually, or the second slide, is the Eurovelo routes in Croatia. We have, so it's the second slide, if you can just turn this next slide.
Yes.
Actually, I can't see it now, but I will try to. So Croatia has 4 Eurovelo routes. I mentioned all of them because they're in different phases of development. The Eurovelo 6, which is Danube cycle route, actually passes through Osijek and Vukovar. Osijek and Vukovar, 2 main centers of the continental Croatia, and covers 150 kilometers in Croatia. That is actually where our national conference is held today, in the city of Osijek on the river of Drava. Eurovelo 8, which is the most important one for this Adriatic-Ionian route and the project, this vision of the cooperation with Slovenia, Italy, Croatia, and all the other countries on this Adriatic coast further down south from Croatia. It is 1,116 kilometers in Croatia, and I will tell a little bit more later in the next slide. Then Eurovelo 9, which is this also very interesting, potentially interesting route in Istria. It covers only 132 kilometers, but very, very attractive part of the Istrian Peninsula in Croatia. Which is very important. It covers the mid Istria on inland Istria, which is really nice, hilly and green, and has a lot of potential for further tourist development. And then Eurovelo 13, which covers the north of Croatia on the border with Slovenia and Hungary, all the way down to Serbia, to the east. It's the Drava cycle route, or Iron Curtain Trail, which covers some 270 kilometers in Croatia. Next slide is the map that shows so the map shows all of these routes. For us, for today's discussion, the most important is this blue, which is Eurovelo 8, and this purple, which is Eurovelo route number 9. And this is Drava route 13, and then this further slide is this is the network of 10 national routes in Croatia. Those are interregional or the routes, biking routes connecting the Croatian regions, and also the one which actually goes almost all the way the same way as Eurovelo 8 is route number 1, which is Adriatic cycling route. Oops, sorry. Croatia is divided in 10 regions. 3 of which are in the inland or continental Croatia. So this yellow is Slavonia, where this conference is held. Green is the central Croatia, and the capital Zagreb is red. And then these 7 regions are actually regions where Eurovelo 8 route passes from north to south in 1,016 kilometers. It has 20 sections, daily sections in Croatia, and as I said, it covers these 7 regions. It really has plenty of natural and historical sites, 3 national parks and 4 nature parks, 8 UNESCO sites en route. Also Rijeka, very important port of Croatian on Croatian Adriatic, the port of diversity, called when it was the European capital of culture in 2020. It is also very interesting because of the karstic phenomenon of Croatia, with plenty of mountains and waters, lakes and rivers. So it's actually covering 7 river estuaries or deltas of these 7 rivers, which I mentioned on the slide. So it's quite attractive, with many bridges crossing them. The route was the Eurovelo 8 route in Croatia, is divided in 2 parts. One is, it is definitely presented with this brochure. I've put the cover page here. It's the Mediterranean route done by National Tourist Board of Croatia together with ECF. It's the northern part of Croatia, from the border with Slovenia to the city of Zadar, so covering 4 Croatian regions and 11 daily sections, and the southern part from Zadar through Šibenik and Split to Dubrovnik and the border with Montenegro, which covers 9 daily sections and has 4 alternative routes, the same as the northern part, which is mainly based on using ferries to go to the islands and use the island actually hopping on and off from the ferries and doing the Eurovelo route on the island for those who want to do it like that. Current situation and further development with Eurovelo 8 is so through the project of MedCycle Tour from 2017 to 2020, we did GPS tracking and, of course, evaluation of route. But now we did a new evaluation, actually now in 2023. It was done by the faculty for transport and traffic from Zagreb. And we did signposting in 2 of these 7 regions, which is the region of Zadar County and Šibenik. Unfortunately, in other regions, it is still to be done. The most important thing which happened through this MedCycle Tour project is the promotion, because our National Croatian Tourist Board was involved in the project, and it was actually the main topic of our development was to develop Eurovelo 8.hr website, which is this. I won't be connecting now to this, but I've put this hyperlink for you to later on if somebody will need it. It's very useful. It's updated on monthly basis, and there is also this ECF brochure, Mediterranean Cycle Route, and in the meantime there was a nice promo video done as well. There is plenty of developed services en route, so it's accommodation and other facilities. Development of infrastructure is to be done. It is done usually by the local authorities of the counties and cities and municipalities along the route. Now I will go to Eurovelo 9, which covers 132 kilometers in Istria, and it's covering actually the same border crossing where Eurovelo 8 enters the Croatia. It's Sečovje Plovania, and goes down south to the ancient city of Pula in Istria. It's interesting because it covers 5 cities or towns and 4 municipalities in Istrian County, and mainly inland Istria. I've put some of the on the map. It looks like this. We of course sent the GPS track, because it was GPS tracked to the ECF site, so it's presented there. It's divided in 3 daily sections, and of course has plenty of beautiful landscape and natural and historical cultural sites. It's actually between the rivers of Dragonja, which is the border river in Slovenia, and the river of Mirna. It covers really nice medieval towns like Zgrožnjan, Oprtalj, Motovun, Buzet, and Draguč. It's also very interesting because it passes through the central Istria and the area of Motovun forest with truffle hunting experiences and possibilities. It enters Pula, which is known as an ancient city, but also a harbor of Austro-Hungarian empire, known for the castles and 28 fortresses, which are really attractive to go through and look. At the beginning of the route is Buje, a very picturesque wine-growing region of Istria between those 2 rivers I mentioned, then the city of Buzet and the municipality and the town of Livade, known for the truffle gastro paradise and the Motovun forest for the truffle hunting. Then the city of Pazin, the central city of Istria, the mythical cave and the medieval castle on a cliff in Pazin. It is connected with the stories of Jules Verne. Then Barban, Museum of Nightly Game, Alka, like the one we have in Dalmatia and Sinj. Then Vodnjan, the town of murals and the other beautiful stories, and then finally Pula. This Eurovelo 9 was done in 2020 to 2029 during the COVID time, and after that we did the evaluation of the route because we have about 7 ECF certified Eurovelo route inspectors in Croatia. And it still needs to be signposted, which we didn't do, although there was a plan to apply for a project with the Istrian County in 2022, but unfortunately it didn't pass through, so unfortunately we couldn't do it yet. And development of infrastructure needs to be improved. There are plenty of nice viewpoints because of the scenery I mentioned earlier. There are some bike shelters along the way, but only few convenient for cyclists, like real bike shelters. Development of services, of course, there are many bicycle racks with MTB or e-bikes in towns, and of course plenty of accommodation and catering facilities along the route. E-bikes, charging stations are charging stations, because we are talking about the hilly inland Istrian part, is available in Buje, Triban, Barban, and some other locations. One of the projects which is really good was the Istrian Bike and Train project in October 2021, which actually covers bike and train possibilities on these hilly parts of the route from Buzet to Pazin and then further down to Pula. It is not long, but as some of the speakers before me mentioned, during the bad weather conditions, it is always worth to have this possibility. Marketing needs to be further done. As I mentioned, it is now mentioned only on this Eurovelo 9 website of ECF, but we will try our best to do it because it's very interesting and important. Regarding some ferry connections between Italy and Croatia and Slovenia along this route, I mentioned these three most important Jadrolinija lines. Jadrolinija, of course, is Croatia's oldest shipping transport company. So it's from Zadar to Ancona and from Split to Ancona. From Split to Ancona, the ferry connection operates during whole year, and also SNAV operates on this line, while Zadar Ancona is operating only from June to September, and further down south, Dubrovnik Bari is operating also only from April to October, and it is not possible in this lower season, which is also very interesting to cycle between our countries of this region. So there are other ferry operators I mentioned here, mainly from Italy, and some of the travel agents connecting some of the cities like Pescara and others which I mentioned on the map. Regarding the railway connections, the domestic and internationals, HŽ or Croatian Railways are doing some improvement, but unfortunately, regarding this Adriatic-Ionian route vision, we really need to work on the improvements, because it's only during the high season, which is, let's say, June to August, which is not so good for cycling along the Eurovelo 8. We prefer to concentrate on the pre-season and post-season. So there are frequent lines between the capital of Zagreb and key cities on Eurovelo 8, which are Rijeka on the north and Split on the southern part, and of course some connecting the Slavonian part, the city of Osijek, where the national conference is, but it is only important for these Eurovelo 6 and Eurovelo 13 routes. Regarding international railways and Croatian connections with international railways, some train ties have improved in this last couple of years. So there are quite frequent train lines between Zagreb and Budapest, Vienna, Munich, and Frankfurt, also with Switzerland, Zurich, and Ljubljana, and two international trains from Rijeka to Ljubljana, and from Ljubljana further connecting to Munich. So it's not very, it still needs to be improved. And somebody mentioned buses. Buses usually accept bicycles in Croatia, but in pre and post season, not in high season, because they are very busy at that time. As I'm not working any longer for the Ministry of Tourism and I'm not working any longer for Croatian National Tourist Board, but am a member of the National Coordination for Development of Cycling Tourism, where I was president from 2017 to this spring, I wanted to point out that at the end of 2020, Croatian Ministry of Sea Traffic and Infrastructure developed the National Plan for Development of Bicycle Traffic, which is really important because now it will be the main thing to further develop and fund all national, regional, and local projects on each level of authorities regarding the roads in Croatia and building of cycling infrastructure. It is very important for us, and I've put the name of the Mr. Ivica Jujnovic, who is in charge and today organizing this national conference, so he was unable to be with us today. Then the Ministry of Tourism and Sports of Republic of Croatia has the new Sustainable Tourism Development Strategy until 2030, and it will also enable further development and financing of all tourism sector authority levels, which was quite important all through 2017, let's say, to the present times, because in Croatia, tourism development strategy within the Ministry of Tourism did much more for the development of cycling tourism than it was followed by the infrastructure and the Ministry of Infrastructure. So it was very important to have this new national plan for development of bicycle as a means of traffic. And the National Coordination for Development of Cycling Tourism will continue to work within the Ministry of Tourism and Sports, but the new person in charge is Ms. Jelena Šobat, so she will be the one to refer to. She is also today on this conference mentioned in Osijek. And Croatian National Tourist Board is still taking care after this MedCycle 2 project of promotion and coordination and marketing of Eurovelo 8. And it will definitely coordinate with the Croatian Chamber of Commerce to further package tourist products related to cycling tourism within Croatia. So I hope we will be able to cooperate as long as I'm not working any longer within the institutions, but as an independent consultant for cycling, rural and outdoor tourism, and I'm gladly to participate on any further projects. If you need me, and those links that I've put are the links to these two ministries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your availability, your patience, and your
hope it's not a farewell. I hope it's not farewell. I'm still here, but not on these positions I had before.
It won't be. It won't be for sure. Let's keep in touch, and it was a pleasure also meeting you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Let's move again to Serbia. It's time for Boris Kamernik, the Danube Competence Center. Boris, the floor is yours. Can you hear us and share the screen?
Yes, can you hear me? I hope now that equipment will be more, how to say, easier with me than it used to be.
So we can hear you very well.
Okay, perfect. So can you see the presentation? Not yet.
Not yet. Maybe it's uploading it now.
It's connecting. Well, anyhow, let's not wait for that. I hope it will be open soon. So let me allow this few introduction seconds, to present our organization, since we were not part of your previous project that you're mentioning, since we are here more in the hinterland, and we participated with you on this Adrian proposal, and we hoped in the future we had more chance, and we will be more lucky than we used to be. So our organization name is Danube Competence Center. We exist since 2010, and we are active in development and promotion of sustainable tourism in the Danube region. Cycling, of course, as a mean of sustainable transportation is one of our key, let's say, tasks, but also we are very active in the cultural roots program and etc. So regarding cycling, our organization is the national coordinator for the Eurovelo network in Serbia, and we are proud to say that there are 3 very important Eurovelo routes passing through Serbia. It's Eurovelo 6, the Danube, I mean, as we call it or branded, the Danube route or the Danube cycling route or the Danube Radweg, then Eurovelo 11 coming from north, and then already mentioned Eurovelo 13, the Iron Curtain Trail. So let's give a little bit in advance about the general situation, since mostly the presentation will be about Eurovelo and this, let's say, cycling tourism routes. We are facing the similar situation like in Bosnia and Herzegovina and Montenegro. The cycling is not yet developed in the stage like, let's say, in the Western Europe. The northern part of Serbia, Vojvodina, has the history and, let's say, habit of using cycling, but also some sort of geographical preconditions. So since it's flat and it's easy, and the rest of the country is rather hilly, so in the northern part we are facing very well developed awareness and the use of cycling both in the commuting but also in tourism, while in Belgrade we are really fighting with other organizations like Streets for Cyclists, etc., to for Belgrade to become more cycling friendly city. So we hope then in the future, with a lot of advocacy, will be a little bit more advanced in the urban cycling as well. So in the last few years, we are really see the progress and interest of the local communities and primarily Ministry of Tourism to invest in the cycling infrastructure. Later on, I will show you some of the latest development, but still the sources of financing are very, very limited. For the cycling infrastructure, we are having just a small portion of usually some EU funds, but very small ones, since Serbia is not part of the EU, so structural funds are not available for us. So mostly we are relying on some smaller intervention for cross-border programs, and which still allows infrastructure measures, but in the fairly small scale. So financing of the infrastructure remains the issue. And I also want to mention in the very beginning that when we say the Eurovelo trails or routes, most of them are not separate from the, let's say, motorized transportation, and the routes are on the roads shared with other vehicles, and this is something that we need to keep finding the solutions how to increase the safety of cyclists, and that the cycling tourism really become a little bit more friendly to the other target groups of tourists, like families of small children, and not only for real enthusiasts which somehow dare to cycle on such routes. So so the first one is Eurovelo 6. It's about 600 kilometers through Serbia. Of course, parts are shared with Croatia, with Lydia already mentioned. Then, going down toward Romania and the Danube Gorge, a very interesting route. And the most visited route in Serbia, our data is that it's about, even before the pandemic, it was about 10,000 cyclists a year going down through Romania toward Romania and Bulgaria. Two major cities, Belgrade and Novi Sad, as well 3 national parks. Very, very interesting and very, very how to say, very nice locations, very good highlights for the cycling tourists. So we developed we started developing the route in 2004, 2005 with field research and the mapping. Then of course the creation of the GPX tracks and official recognition as part of the Eurovelo 6 later on. In 2007 and 2008, the full route is signposts on all 600 kilometers. And this I need to maybe mention at the very beginning that we are very proud that all Eurovelo routes in Serbia are signposts, and this is a little bit a good, a good achievement that we are proud of. I mean, aside from signposting, we are, putting the monitoring system, since at least knowing, the number of cycling tourists and, etc., will give us a sort of encouragement to continue our advocacy work. Since, whenever we ask for some, additional funds, they're always asking, okay, but where, how many of them you have, and, how we can prove that this is actually a profitable part of the tourism segment, not taking much into consideration in the moment the other good aspects. So the other one is Eurovelo 18 that we signpost just recently, of course, with the great support of the Ministry of Tourism. And, this is the youngest signpost part of the Eurovelo in Serbia, and we are now working with our stakeholders on the field to do a little bit of transforming the route into the real product. The route is going down toward Athens, so this is also interesting as how to say a cycling corridors linking hinterlands of the Adriatic region with the Adria cycle network. So fully signpost in 2021, about 480 kilometers, and we are also not doing the signposting on the main Eurovelo certified route, but also we are doing signposting on detours, since we really think that detours is the way how we can attract more people, but also the cyclists which are using the Eurovelo network to spend more days on the countryside and explore what other close to Eurovelo main roads destinations can offer. Eurovelo 13 Iron Curtain Trail is interesting also, since this is the only Eurovelo route which is also the culture route certified by the Council of Europe. Since we are managing the culture route of the Roman emperors, this gives us, a very nice mix of combining cycling and, culture route as a main attraction for the tourists. Usually we are working with Romania, since most of the route is basically the borderline between Serbia and Romania, and there are some interesting CBC programs that we are running with them, with different open air museums, augmented reality, showing how the Iron Curtain at that time looked like in the region. So we hope that Eurovelo 13 and with these investments will be even more attractive than it used to be. So total length 710 kilometers. Also shared the part with Eurovelo 6 in the region of the Danube Gorge, and we are really thinking that this would be a good investment. I mean, a good highlight in the future. So here are some pictures of the newly developed infrastructure. This is now 50 kilometers of the route, Eurovelo 6 route, near border between Romania and Serbia, which is fully segregated from the traffic, and we hope that these 50 kilometers will attract more let's say families and tourists, weekend tourists from Belgrade and Novi Sad to that region. So we hope it will be very interesting to see how the figures will be in the next period. So this is some information tables, resting places, and etc. So we hope that these 50 kilometers, which is now financed by the Ministry of Tourism, will be in the future extend to the Belgrade and Novi Sad on the banks of the Danube, which then in that case will present a significant portion of the route, which is adaptive. I mean, which is convenient for all types of cyclists. We should not forget the Sava cycling route. We are in the moment in the very close cooperation with our Croatian and Slovenian colleagues, working on certification of the Sava route as a new Eurovelo 18 route. The application is already submitted to ECF, so we hope in the near future we will see the developments there as well. In the moment, I hope that through the CBC program Croatia-Serbia, we will be able to secure funds for signposting of the route from Zagreb to the Serbian border, since the Serbian side is already done, as well as do some infrastructure interventions and build the highlights on the Croatian side. So what is also very important for us, and I think this is also one of the reasons that we can discuss further about linking with Adriatic. About 2 years ago, our consultants, our experts, map the circular route from Belgrade to Dubrovnik and back. So this route will be Belgrade, Sarajevo, Dubrovnik, and then return back through Montenegro. We think that this will be a major tourism attraction in the future, of course, collaborating with the colleagues in Montenegro and Herzegovina, including what they were already done, which is, a tremendous success and very, very interesting thing. We also have on the Serbian side, the narrow gauge train that we are trying in advocacy to be used as a cycling path. This route will have about, in one direction, about 700 kilometers, and the attractions of Belgrade as a starting point, then Sarajevo, Dubrovnik, Montenegro, all those natural and cultural heritage along. That this would be a great product linking Danube strategy, I mean EU strategy for the Danube region and EUSAIR, and also fitting perfectly with some of the objectives of the EUSAIR regarding products which are linking the hinterland and the Adriatic Sea. So we are very exciting and looking forward to work more with stakeholders and partners of really creating this Adriatic Circle, or Danube Adriatic route, how we call it. We didn't decide exactly what will be the name, as interesting product. So thank you very much for your attention. I was quite quick, but just to return back to what our colleague Stefan from Montenegro mentioned, Serbia has the draft of the cycling strategy. Actually, DCC drafted this strategy in the program, in the project from the financed by the Danube Region program, but unfortunately this strategy has not been yet adopted. So we hope in the future this would be the case, and that we can have more structured approach, especially to the development of the network of the national routes, more investment infrastructure, and taking more consideration in planning of the new transport network, and of course ways how to link cycling with the public transportation. We already had some initiatives with the bus transportation. Unfortunately, the railroad and the national company which is maintaining and managing the trains and rails is still not so they're not adaptable so much to the needs of the cycling tourist, but we are working on that, and hopefully in the future we will see some sort of developments in that sense as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Boris. Thank you also for your presentation, all the information you share with us. Let's move to Albania now. Amanda Terpo, go to Albania. The floor is yours.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Share my screen now. Okay. I hope you can all see it.
Oh, maybe there is still a screen. Not yet. Yeah, try again now.
Oh yeah, I'm so sorry. I apparently did not go all the way with the settings of the sharing. Okay, great.
Yeah.
I think now you can have a feel of you.
Excellent, please.
So, hello everyone. I'm Amanda Terpo. I'm an urban mobility planner from Albania. I'm actually a freelance consultant and project developer for a few NGOs in the country, which focus mainly on alternative mobility and, of course, cycling as well. However, these all initiatives are at a smaller level, so local level rather than regional or state level. So just to be in line with the Adrioncycleroute perspective that we also talked about up until now, we will talk about the case of Albania in terms of the Eurovelo route, Mediterranean one. So Albania, of course, is part one of the 10 countries of the 7,500 kilometers of Eurovelo 8 route, and only 488 of those kilometers are located within the Albania part. Then, of course, due to the project of Eurovelo in the Albania still being under development, so we don't have a clear route yet. And even though we have a section of all of the cities that will be part of the route, a clear section on what kind of route section this will have to be developed in the future, there is not yet. So there is very little to report in terms of that. However, we also lack a few adjoining actions, such as the National Eurovelo Coordinator Center, and also no official country coordinator from our side for Eurovelo. At the same time, due to largely the initiative being managed by the Ministry of Tourism, under which also cycling falls, we do not have also specialists and experts or actors advocating for cycling within that level of governance yet. And that could be presented a little bit as a gap as well. However, as a good initiative, a few developments have progressed at the local level, which then later on could impact the regional and then state level as well, into developing this route a little bit faster, and also within some rules and coordinations of Eurovelo. So we have no routes in Euro planning, but in terms of a little bit of Eurovelo data, just to emphasize what we already talked about. So in Albania, at stages of planning, we are 0. We are still under development, so we haven't taken any action towards this, even though Eurovelo 8 has been kind of branded as one of the most inclusive routes to be considered. So this is a really big chunk of tourism revenue, but also development possibilities that is being left behind. So there is 6 main sections within the route of the territory of Albania, and then it connects in the north part with Montenegro and in the south part with Greece as well, taking over 8 cities, 4 protected areas, 5 natural parks, and 10 historical sites. So each of these sections, of course, does have infrastructure. However, it doesn't have the necessary signings, and the route hasn't been established. So one of the main issues we have with these is because our cycle and tourism development plan has established tourism as one of the main priorities. However, there is no mention of Eurovelo in that. At the same time, we have the sectoral plans being developed at the second level of governance, which is the regional level. Now, due to the lack of capacities, but also full decentralization of funds, this second level of governance has not been taking charge of the sectoral plans, which is it's also falls under its main obligations, and they have been kind of monitored and engaged by the national level, which is the National Agency for Territorial Planning, which has been advising and drafting the sectoral plans. We have 2 so far for different sectors, the coastal sectoral plan, and of course the Channel Corridor, and the agricultural one. At the same time, there is talk about the sectoral strategy for cycling. However, nothing has been made official so far. Within these documents, however, that we have a lot of mention for coastal cycling routes, which also fall within the spatial space of the Eurocity Eurovelo Route 8, which could be combined, have the strategy going forward. So this has declared at least 400 kilometers to be developed by 2030, so cycle routes, and also regional bike routes by 2030 are a main priority. However, this plan is only in the first section now, and the second section hasn't started yet. Therefore, this is something to be viewed in the future. At the same time, as I said, a few good initiatives have been happening in the local level, which could be scaled up then to go to second and third levels. So in terms of individual municipalities, we have 4 municipalities currently developing dedicated bicycle routes and signs. So Shkodra, for example, located in the north, which is also the first city part of the Eurovelo tour, has developed 2.5 kilometers of dedicated bicycle route within the city, but also connecting with the city of Leja now. And it intends to double this after the development of a sustainable mobility plan, which has just been drafted. At the same time, Vlora also has developed 5.3 kilometers tours as well, and Tirana, which has also the largest number of routes, which is 58 kilometers so far of dedicated route. So these small interventions could help a little bit to scale this action. However, no current action has been. A good example also is the Transdinarica routes. A colleague of mine from Montenegro also mentioned a little bit in these. So we have 3 countries, 20 stages, about 1,036 kilometers. We have an established itinerary and the identification of main activities, attractions, and natural resources that could be viewed in the area. There is about 100% of pavement going throughout the 20 stages. They have been almost fully completed with a very small percentage of 68% left from one of the stages. And it was under the guidance of the Ministry of Tourism and Environment and will be included in the review of the tourism strategy, which will be reviewed now in 2025. At the same time, one of the main findings of the project, so this is kind of the circle on one side, and this is the circle of the Western Balkan route, but only the 2 countries. So starting from Albania, going to Kosovo, then North Macedonia, and then from North Macedonia to Albania and full circle. So, at the same time, one of the main findings within the project was the development of a kind of navigation pack system in which you could download an app and that would show you the location within the route. And then at the same time, what type of attractions, where could you stay, how far they are, and of course, how to reach them within a certain amount. There is also a new publication happening for this app in 2024, which hasn't been published yet, but as I am aware, it will be published by the end of October. Now, just in terms of reviewing a little bit of what kind of gaps are we talking about? In terms of route development and regional priorities, we do have some priorities established. However, the development of the route have been very slow and not coordinated from different levels of planning and decision-making in terms of governance. Only local interventions are currently taking place, which is also a good indicator. However, it needs sort of this kind of regional level to connect everything together, so everything doesn't stay at the local level. In terms of infrastructure improvements, local authorities, yes, have worked quite closely to improve on cycle infrastructure. However, no dedicated cycling paths have been identified to connect 2 localities together and going the scaling up these interventions to a regional level. At the same time, in terms of promotional effort, Albania has been part of Eurovelo guides in both 2022 and 2023. However, very limited information has been displayed within that guide. And due to the fact that there is also not planning going on, but also not a regional coordinator to address some of these representations, a lot of the information that has been displayed is very general. However, with a little bit of research, more than 30 blocks have been identified in which have taken the Eurovelo 8 through Albania within this year, so in 2024. And it's very interesting as these could be also an established beginning for something a little bit bigger. Tour packages and self-guided tours, we do see these as a priority as well. And we understand that this is a little bit harder to do at the moment. However, in the future, we hope that this will be a scaled up effort as well. There are a few good examples, not necessarily for the Eurovelo project, but for other northern of Albania projects, which have been developed by Go to Albania, which is a local NGO operating in Shkodra. And they have developed at least 6 guidebooks, depending on duration of days, that you could take to cycle in the north of the region of Shkodra. In terms of growth incentives, there is a lot of NGOs currently working on different aspects of development cycling. However, these efforts have been staying at the very local level. I think that is a little bit of a gap. However, I do think that Albania is ready to be a little bit more inclusive within these actions, due also to the fact that we have decided to focus on sustainable tourism as an economic development pillar. So I think in the future it would be very interesting to see how it could also benefit by being quite close to also Montenegro, but also to Greece, in terms of this being a continuous effort. So this is it on my side. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you also for your presentation, Amanda. And let's keep moving southbound to North Macedonia, Bojan Rantasa, Center of Sustainable Initiatives. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I hope you can see me, hear me.
Yes.
Okay.
Share screen in progress. So.
Okay, so. Okay, just a moment. So I'm Bojan Rantasa.
Yes.
Coming from North Macedonia, from Center for Sustainable Initiatives. I'm the chairman of the board, and I'll be speaking something about what's happening on bicycle development in the country. So first, let me start with the overall picture. And in terms of infrastructure, we have only bicycle paths in the cities. More and more cities are building or renovating old bicycle paths, which is positive. And because mountain biking is quite popular, many off-road trails close to the cities, mainly off-road trails going to popular tourist sites, are being developed. Now, the public support, meaning people that ride bicycles, has been increasing in the past 10 years, maybe 15 years, very greatly. So there is great public support for bicycle projects. And the bicycles are mentioned in many strategies, whether it's environment, climate change, air pollution, just name it, rural development, are mentioned. So bicycle promotion, bicycle paths building, and so on. So they're integrated somewhere, somehow. However, the fact is that we do have 2 Eurovelo paths, trails that pass through North Macedonia. Eurovelo 13 was defined already in 2010. We organized the promotion of Eurovelo 13 when we invited Michael Kramer to come here. However, even though signposts have been made by the Agency for Promotion of Tourism, the regions haven't placed those signposts, so it remains unmarked. Eurovelo 11 hasn't been officially defined where it will go. On the other hand, municipalities take bicycle as a very good marketing tool, like a popular, some kind of popular measure, because cycling has a great popularity. So they promote cycling by providing subsidies for new bicycles, which is very interesting. No infrastructure in most cases, but subsidies for new bicycles. Now, for for bicycle routes that connect cities or regions, we have general explanation that there is not enough finances, but the bigger issue is that there is no dedicated institution to take on the leadership. During the preparation of our failed project proposal, I had the ministry, actually the Agency for Transport, almost agreeing to take on this leadership. However, the director was changed recently, so nothing of it. Yeah, this is one photo of Via Egnatia, and it's an interesting route. Now, in connection to the Adrian cycle route, there are many rural existing infrastructure that can easily be adopted. Even 4 years ago, and again now, we promote the idea that the Roman road of Via Egnatia can be utilized for the connection to Adrian. It is a cultural significant route, and we have already made an assessment of the potentials together with support from the Agency for Promotion of Tourism. And we have the assessment, we have the route defined. All we need is to continue with this activity. Of course, finances are needed, and we need appropriate partners in neighboring Albania and Greece. Maybe some of you can join us with this idea. Now, this is a nice picture of the military route of Via Egnatia above the town of Bitola. Now, what is happening? Because the let's say official or formal agencies are not very keen to develop big bicycle projects, we have non-formal bicycle routes development. So a lot of NGOs, they create their own routes on existing infrastructure because cycling is allowed in most places, on most roads. Whether it's an off-road or on-road. So we have developed some regional bicycle tours that connect several municipalities. Other NGOs create other routes like Mariova off-road experience and so on. But also businesses that we are aware that we have helped develop their route, focus on this non-formal bicycle route development. For example, many of you already mentioned the Transdinarica cycle route developed by the Slovenian that goes from Slovenia down to Macedonia and back. It's a very good example. We have also helped the local business bicycle.mk to develop self-guided routes locally. So these kind of routes are interesting because they bypass the institutional element, but they focus on stakeholders, local stakeholders to come together and work on the trail and basically provide services along the trail. It's more organic, I would say. So maybe this is the way forward in this environment. This is one of the events that actually we organized some years ago on the cultural bicycle tour through to Bilepfield. Now, what we have done is recently we figured out how to stimulate the municipalities of Skopje, where we are based, to provide bigger effort in developing bicycle routes and trails. And the idea was to create an award, the most bicycle-friendly municipality. And we made a very detailed self-assessment that each municipality filled out. So we included the whole Skopje planning region, which was about 15 municipalities. 13 of them participated. Some of them were too lazy to fill out the form. And it was, on one side, very interesting to see that the public saw other municipalities as being most bicycle friendly than those that had the most points. And however, the municipality that had most points, like the municipality of Center in Skopje, actually had barely 49%, which is quite low. We also did something like to stimulate further development. We gave kind of a Bravo awards to some rural municipalities. I can mention the municipality of Petrovec, that it was their own initiative to build a bicycle path in the municipality that somehow fits along Eurovelo 11, which is wonderful, even though officially it's not marked to be there, but it's most probably it will be there. We have done some self-guided bicycle tours available publicly online on apps over the years, and we've maintained social bicycle center pedal that it's not only popular for local people, but it's very popular, I would say even more popular, for transiting bicycle travelers to stop by and fix their bikes, because it's open for anyone to use. Yeah, here the several municipalities that were awarded with kind of symbolic award of being bicycle friendly, at least in some points. Now, in terms of policy, we have focused in the past few years on several points. We've successfully managed to include bicycles in the program for development of Skopje planning region for 2021-2026. And we have several activities. One is mapping existing bicycle infrastructure and detecting the needed infrastructure for connecting of tourism sites. And the other one is, this may be badly translated, delivering and promotion of intermunicipal connection via a network of safe bicycle paths. So at least we have a local region of Skopje that acknowledges this need. Currently, it's an ongoing process of preparing the spatial plan of Republic of North Macedonia and of the general urban plan of the city of Skopje. So now we're, let's say, monitoring the process and waiting for the moment to intervene appropriately to include anything related to cycling, whatever we can. So that would be shortly from me. Of course, these are a bunch of bicycle tourists traveling to Skopje and visiting the social bicycle center pedal. Thank you for your time, and yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Rante, also for your contribution and your very interesting slides. Last but not least, let's move to Greece. My promise, next time we will have the agenda arranged the other way around, so starting from Greece instead of starting from north. So, Spiros Papageorgiou, National Coordinator for Eurovelo for Greece, the floor is yours. Please, Spiros.
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for inviting me in such an interesting conference. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, perfectly, please.
Great. So what I would like to do is to give you some information concerning where Greece is standing at the moment in this road, I should say path, to cycling tourism. First of all, let me give you some information about us. I represent the organization Cities for Cycling, which is an NGO, official member of European Cyclists Federation. We are also member of the Greek National Eurovelo Coordination Center, and we are doing a lot of lobbying. We organize events, and we work with local authorities and local communities in order to promote cycling and cycling tourism. So for Greece, tourism is, as you know very well, extremely important because it's a huge industry, but we are always mindful of the effects of tourism on the country. Of course, like everybody, we care about the environment, we care about the economical sustainability. But when we talk about sustainability, usually people turn away because their initial reaction is that it doesn't align with profit. But the truth is that profit doesn't have to come at the expense of destroying assets. It should come from happy clients. And nowadays, it seems that most potential clients are looking for an authentic local experience. And this is where bicycle tourism could offer a solution. And this is the way we are working at the moment in Greece in order to promote cycling tourism. So we know for a fact that the client is not I'm referring to the visitors as clients in order to just to show the economical benefits of sustainable tourism. So first of all, those potential clients exist because in the majority of European cities, almost 30% of daily transportation is being done by bike. So, I mean, people who are cycling anyways every day to move around, why not to use this during their holidays as well? These people are having specific habits, like they are traveling with friends or family, they shop locally, and it seems that they are spending a lot of money on accommodation, on food and beverages, and also they stay longer than the average tourist. According to a study from the Danish Ministry of Tourism, in 2022 they had more than 2.8 billion euros coming only from cycling tourists in the country. So what this client, this visitor wants, he wants to get to know the destination better, to of course to eat and sleep well, but he mainly wants to feel part of the community, to feel like local, and in order to understand that, he needs to feel safe, to feel secure, and to know exactly where he should go next and what the infrastructure will be. So the answer to that could be a reliable, high-quality European cycle route network with good connection to national and regional routes, and of course clear signposting. In Greece at the moment we are having 3 Eurovelo routes crossing the country, and the good thing is that we recently established the first National Eurovelo Coordination Center, and because of that we have now finished with a complete study for signposting 2 of the 3 routes, Eurovelo 8, we have heard a lot about it before, and Eurovelo 11. This signposting, we are sure that will act as a catalyst for more infrastructure in the region, but the truth is that timeline is not clear yet, because as you know very well, nothing in life is perfect, and in politics especially. So our experience till now from working with Eurovelo in order to promote cycling tourism is that it's not easy, and I think that it will never be easy because, for example, in this National Eurovelo Coordination Center, we have 5 members, 3 of which are ministries, the Ministry of Transportation, the Ministry of Environment, and the Ministry of Tourism, very solid stakeholders. We have the municipalities network and, of course, our organization. This means that different people, they have to cooperate, they have different agenda, they have different ways of working and understanding the situation. But the truth is that we know, we understand that the future of tourism can only be sustainable, and that profit from tourism can come from long-term investment, and for that, cycling could be perhaps the simplest solution to some of the most complicated problems. So you see, I was very brief about that, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Spiros, very much also for letting us gain some time. So we have just completed the formal part and all the presentation included in the last session. We had the chances of understanding the steps forward made in the past years, but there is still, of course, a lot of room for big improvements in terms of infrastructure, cycling infrastructures, services, intermodal services supporting cycling mobility, and in terms of embedding the flagship project idea we were talking about the afternoon now. Now I leave the floor for the conclusion to Professor Coppola, who is one of the coordinator of the thematic steering group 2 of EUSAIR, and representing the Ministry of Infrastructure and the transport infrastructure of Italy. And Italy is one of the 3 coordinators of that pillar, together with Serbia and North Macedonia. Professor Coppola, do you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, the floor is yours, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Angelucci, and good afternoon, everyone. I am very sorry not for being with you in present and not for having had the chance to follow all the presentation and all the projects that have been discussed today in this very interesting conference. But as I have announced today, we have just completed the governing board of the EUSAIR, the European Strategy for the Adriatic-Ionian region. So there was this unfortunate overlapping between these 2 events. Anyway, it is a great honor for me as pillar coordinator of transport group in EUSAIR to give some concluding remarks at this event. But before doing that, let me thank Regione Friuli-Venezia Giulia in particular for having organized it. I was saying I'm honored, and I am particularly also proud to listen about projects for the development of cycling mobility en route across the Adriatic-Ionian region, because it has been also anticipated the Adriatic and Ionian cycle route represent a flagship project within Pillar 2 of the EUSAIR strategy. A flagship project is a strategic project that has been included in our action plan for several motivations. I'm now going to cite and to mention 3 of them, 3 main motivations that are also interlinked to 3 keywords. And these keywords are actually sustainability, embedding, and opportunities. So the first keywords, cycling routes and cycling mobility is, of course, a sustainable mode of transport that brings a wide range of benefit to mobility, but also to accessibility, to the environmental sustainability, and also beyond its obvious contribution to this, let's say, environmental sustainability topics, it encourages also an healthy and active lifestyle, provides a cost-effective solution for infrastructure development that are differently from other projects in the transport sector, large projects, a cycling route requires less intensive investment, are easy to spread out across the territory, and have a much higher likelihood of being funded through regional cooperation initiatives, such as those available under the EU Territorial Cooperation Programme. And this brings me to the second keyword, embedding. What's embedding? Embedding means incorporating the priorities of the strategy in the policy cohesion framework in order to create opportunity for funding cycling projects using this kind of grants and funds. Today, as pillar coordinator, I'm particularly pleased that the development of sustainable and cycling mobility is now, the embedding of cycling mobility is now a reality. It's something that is giving a tangible result, for example, in the Italy-Slovenia cross-border cooperation program, but also in IPA-Adrium. And I think that the projects that have been presented so far today, and notably the Adriocycleroute and the Cyrus project, demonstrate the potential of cycling routes to deliver the real change in mobility, but also to enhance the accessibility of territory in the Adriatic-Ionian region while promoting sustainable development. The third keyword is opportunity. In fact, and this is one of the main motivations for including cycling as one of our flagship projects. Promoting cycling as a mode of transport offers new opportunity, not only for mobility, but also for tourism sector, as it has been remarked in many presentations today, opening up our territories to visitors in an eco-friendly and enjoyable way. So, promoting cycling offers opportunity and chances to create synergies also with other sectors. And in EUSAIR, cross-pillar cooperation, particularly between transport and environment, and transport and tourism, is at the stake, is very important. So, moving to the conclusion, I am confident that the work we are doing, that you have done and that you have presenting, that you have been doing, will contribute to further advance the projects, and that there will be, and I hope that there will be more opportunity in the future to expand the cycling infrastructure across our region. The role of EUSAIR in that is twofold. On the one hand, promoting the creation of an ecosystem that goes beyond the border of single countries and strive for a vision that make the routes of the cycling routes a mean for interconnecting the countries participating in the strategy, the countries belonging to the Adriatic-Ionian region. On the other hand, having cycling mobility as a flagship in our action plan, and at least this is our ambition and hope, could stimulate local administration, regional authorities to create projects with a different level of outreach, an outreach that goes beyond the single city, that goes beyond the single region, the single country, but a project that could contribute to the mobility of a macro region. And in that respect, I think that this could help to promote the sustainability in sustainable mobility in our region. So together, local administration, region, countries, EUSAIR, the European strategy, can contribute. We can contribute to make the region a leader in sustainable, accessible, and innovative transport solution development. So my final message is, let's keep the momentum going. Thank you for the work done, and hope that in the future there could be additional occasion to compare, to confront, to stimulate each other, presenting achievements in the development of the Adriatic-Ionian cycle system of routes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Coppola. We can for sure promise that we will keep on working, on sharing projects, improvements, and making possible the embedding of such a flagship project idea. We proved it is feasible in the framework of transport cross-border projects, and we look forward to implementing also future territorial cooperation projects, hopefully at transnational level too, exploiting also the Adrian area, the whole Adrian area, as we really wished and wanted for. Thank you very much also for to all the speakers who provided their contributions, and to all of you who managed to stay with us the whole afternoon. I think we can close now also this session, and what we can say is, of course, that we will be making available all the presentations and the entire workshop as well, which has been recorded for future also, for sharing also this with other institutions and stakeholders. And we will also look forward to meeting all of you again in another future initiative similar like this, in order to keep in order to stay in touch and keep working together for making our macro-regional area more sustainable in terms of mobility and tourism. Thank you so much, and see you next time. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you, and bye-bye. Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye to everybody.
Hi, thank you.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.